Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Cat Chat Live Family Weekend Preview. It is a rainy Monday in Lexington. I know we need the rain, but it's been a little gray, and many students looked unprepared for today's weather, if I'm being honest. But we are glad to have you here with us today. My name is Nancy Stevens. I oversee parent and family communications out of the Office for Student Success. And as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about Family Weekend today. Many of you have probably joined us for a Cat Chat Live before, but in case you haven't, I want to review a few quick housekeeping items with you. We'll plan on today's webinar running no more than an hour. We know folks are busy, so we'll make sure we keep it to an hour. And you'll use the Q&A feature to communicate with us. You'll hear a lot of good information about Family Weekend before we open it up to your questions. We've anticipated many of your questions based on previous experience, but then we'll definitely make time for any remaining questions before we wrap up today. And we'll take, again, as many as we can in that allotted hour. My colleague Kate's going to be putting relevant links and good information in the chat, so keep an eye on that. If you're not able to join us for the entire hour, we understand folks have busy schedules, so this webinar is being recorded and will be posted in the Cat Chat family community later today or tomorrow so that you can go back and view the recording or share it with others. At any time, if you have any other questions about the University of Kentucky and want some support in getting that additional information, be sure to reach out to the Office for Family and Civic Engagement. You can email them at parents@uky.edu, and they'll make sure to follow up and get you the assistance that you need. And last but not least, I want to mention that you'll be getting a survey after this webinar. There'll be a link when the survey wraps up. It will also be in the Cat Chat family community. Please do take that survey. Let us know how Cat Chat Live is meeting your needs and what questions you have and what future topics you'd like to see us consider for Cat Chat Lives. I'm in the process of building out the fall schedule for our remaining Cat Chat Live webinars. Right now, the next one is scheduled for October 29th. Its topic is celebrating our first generation wildcats. And I'm talking to other campus partners right now about different topics of interest to families. So again, if you have any feedback on topics you'd like to see, make sure you share those with us in the survey. Registration links for the first generation wildcat webinar are currently in the Cat Chat family community, and certainly any recordings for past Cat Chat Lives that you may want to go back and revisit. If you have new questions that have come up since then, be sure to look for those in the Cat Chat family community. Family is your official source of information for UK parents and families. We know that we don't always see accurate information on Facebook and in Facebook groups. So make sure when you have questions about UK that you're turning to the Cat Chat family community. New content is going in every day, things that we know that you are curious about, information that you need to support your wildcat. So make sure you're checking out those email newsletters. Consider getting those as often as weekly so that you won't miss out on any updates about the University of Kentucky. All right, so those are my welcome and kind of housekeeping announcements. And now I'm going to turn things over to my dear friend and colleague, Nikki Jenkins. She and Kate have been working so hard planning the university's upcoming Family Weekend celebration, and I'm excited to learn more about what they have planned for you all. So Nikki and Kate, take it away.
Thank you, Nancy. As Nancy said, my name is Nikki Jenkins, and I serve as the Director of Family and Civic Engagement here at UK. Kate Bauman, who is here as well, works in our office as our Assistant Director and has been busy planning Family Weekend. We're really excited to share all of the fun things that we have in store and give you some tips, some tricks, answer some of your frequently asked questions. Make sure that you are really prepared to come to campus and see your student and experience some fun family traditions here. Right now, the best place to get information about Family Weekend is going to be our Family Weekend website. There you will find information about the schedule, parking, registration, all of the things that you are thinking about. If you have already registered for Family Weekend, in your confirmation email, you will see a link to download the UK Guides Family Weekend mobile app. And that's where the most up-to-date information about Family Weekend is going to be, including some really fun things that are going on here in Lexington, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. As Nancy said, When you have questions, feel free to go ahead and put those in the Q&A. We will try to answer as many as we possibly can. But just so that you know, these are the things that we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about registration and check-in, and make sure that you have have a plan for that process. We're going to talk about what to wear and what to bring, because it's Kentucky, and really sometimes we just don't know what's going to happen with the weather. So we want to make sure that you're prepared there. We're going to talk about events and tickets. We're going to talk about getting around Lexington during a big football weekend, where to park, where not to park, and give you some tips in that space as well. We'll talk about food, accommodations, how you can stay connected to us during the weekend if you have questions, and then give you some helpful tips that we over the years have sort of collected and know are going to be really useful to families. So we're going to start off by talking about a registration. If you've already registered, then great, you're ahead of schedule, and that's wonderful. We ask that all families register for Family Weekend if you're planning to come and participate in our Family Weekend events. Right now we are in the late registration cycle, which means it is $35 for each family to register for Family Weekend. Once you've registered, you'll have an opportunity to add on some different event packages, additional tote bags. There's also merchandise, so lots of opportunities for you to really customize the experience to what you want it to be. There are a couple of deadlines that I want to make you aware of as far as registration goes. You can register for Family Weekend all the way up until Family Weekend, but specifically for one of the packages, for the Alumni Tailgate and Donut Trail package, that registration deadline is October 9th. We have to cut that one off early for catering reasons. I'm sure any of you who have planned an event know that we have to get those catering numbers in to make sure that everyone is fed. So know that that event deadline registration is October 9th. If you are thinking about adding some people to your registration, maybe you want to add a package, you want to bring grandma or grandpa or your neighbor with you, you can still do that. All you need to do is go back to your original registration form and scroll all the way to the bottom. There is a link that says make additional ticket or product purchases, click here. And that will allow you to add on to the registration that you have already purchased, which is really convenient because then it's all in one place. And then a confirmation email will be resent to you at that time. So once you have registered and you are all ready to go and you are coming to campus, the first thing that you're going to do when you get here is check in. We know that there's a lot of you who are checking in, and we want to make sure that there's plenty of time for you to do so, so that you're not rushed. And so we have a 3-day check-in process. Three days of opportunities for you or your student to check you in for Family Weekend. Check-in this year will be at the Cornerstone, which is on the corner of Avenue of Champions and South Limestone. It's where you typically park, right in that parking deck, if you've been to campus before. So for check-in, you will come in, you will bring the QR code that you received in your confirmation email, or you will just bring the name of the person who registered your family, and we can look it up that way as well. The QR code is a little quicker, but we can take care of you either way. So if you somehow forget to bring your QR code, it's okay. We will definitely take care of you. When you're at check-in, we're going to make sure that you have everything you need. We will have a printed guide with all of our signature events and important information about campus. You'll receive a clear tote bag, which we'll talk more about in a minute, but with all full of goodies and important information. And it's a tote bag that you can bring to the game if that's something that you're doing. One of the biggest tips that we say every year, and I promise this is the best thing that you could do for yourself, is to send your student ahead of time to check you in. We will be at Cornerstone Wednesday and Thursday of Family Weekend, the days before Family Weekend, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and then we will be there on Friday from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. If your student can go ahead of time and get you all checked in, then you don't have to rush. You don't have to worry. When you get to campus, you will have all of your check-in materials, and they will have everything you need to have fun over the weekend. If for some reason your student can't, that's all right. You still are welcome to check in on Friday. We do have a late check-in, which is not on this slide, but we do have a late check-in on Saturday, which will happen in Frazee Hall, and all of that information is on the website and your mobile app. In Frazee Hall in the morning, so that you can, if for some reason you were late and you're not getting to campus until Saturday, you could check in then as well. But again, highly recommend that you check in ahead of time. Nancy, I see that there's some questions. Do we have any questions about check-in or registration yet?
Yep, we can go ahead and start taking a few questions. The first question is from Robin. She says, do you have to be an alum to go to the alumni tailgate?
It's a great question. You do not. You do not have to be an alum to go to the alumni tailgate. Anyone is welcome to do that. It's a great
All right, and then Kenneth is asking, if you already have tickets to the football game, would you also sign up for the alumni tailgate?
Can you say that one more time?
If you already have tickets to the football game, would you also sign up for the alumni tailgate?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, that's really up to you. If you are interested in tailgating ahead of time before the football game and you want to go to the alumni tailgate, then I would purchase a ticket to the tailgate, and then you can still go to the game. But that's really up to you and your family if you would prefer to do that. Speaking really quickly, speaking of events, let me get into some event stuff and we'll come back to some other questions, because I think
perfect. Good plan.
Questions will be answered. One thing I will say is that we have a lot of events going on. So if you have purchased a ticket to an event, if you purchase a package to go to the Wildcat Watch Party, the Alumni Tailgate, or the Kentucky Donut Trail, you're going to have something, some sort of signature item that you're going to have with you that is your event pass, the way that you get into the event, right? So, and you will pick those up at check-in. They will be part of your check-in package. For the Wildcat Watch Party, you're going to have an event entry sticker that will say Wildcat Watch Party on it, and you'll wear that sticker, and that'll be how we'll know that you have purchased a ticket for that event. If you purchase a ticket for the Donut Trail, you're going to have a wristband, and that's how we'll know that you have purchased. And then for the UK Alumni Tailgate, they actually do a check-in process at the tailgate. So if you've purchased a package for the tailgate, you will walk up to the tailgate. There will be a check-in area. You'll give them your name, and they will check you in to that event. So every event's a little bit different, but wanted to make sure that you know all of that. The other piece of check-in is that for all of the events that are going on campus, if your student is with you, they're going to want to check in with their BB Involved event pass, even if they have a ticket. That event pass is used to help us track attendance for students. We want to know which students are going to events, who is getting involved, who is participating, and so that BB Involved event pass will help us to do that. So make sure that your student has downloaded their event pass. I'm sure most of them have at this point, and that will be something that they can use to take attendance at events. Students will still need a ticket to ticketed events. That event pass is a separate attendance taker, if you will. In addition to into all of the event information, of course, we've talked about the schedule being online. We've talked about the schedule also being on the mobile app. And again, that in your confirmation email will be information about how to download that mobile app. We know that some events are ticketed, right? The Watch Party, the Donut Trail, and the Alumni Tailgate. However, there are also a lot of free events that are happening on campus. So if you have, maybe you've just registered your family and you've paid the $25 or $35 to register, there's still going to be a lot of things going on. Those events are going to be delineated by or characterized by either general public or marked as free. And so those will be open to you if you decide you just want to go and check those opportunities out. Families are also invited to participate in homecoming events. And that homecoming schedule is also linked on the Family Weekend website as well as the mobile app. There are a lot of really fun alumni events. And again, you don't have to be an alumni necessarily to go to these events. I can't stress that enough. These are just opportunities for you to experience some traditions and network with some new people. So you don't necessarily have to be an alumni to participate in those homecoming events. And we highly encourage you to check those out. We have on the website more information about our signature events, but I wanted to give you a quick snapshot of some of the events that we have that are going to be going on. The first on Friday is the Big Blue Day at the Races. That will be at Keeneland, and that'll be a really fun opportunity if you've never been to Keeneland. If you want to go and just get a glimpse of what Keeneland is like, it's a really, really fun day over at Keeneland. Those tickets are free to families who have registered for Family Weekend. So once you have registered, in your confirmation email, there will be more information about how to download your free ticket to Keeneland. While supplies last, of course, but right now they still have tickets, so that's great. At 6 p.m. on that Friday, we're going to have a welcome reception presented by the UK Federal Credit Union, and that will be in the Cornerstone, right where check-in will be. So if you're coming on a Friday, you can come check in and then come to our welcome reception. It'll be a really great opportunity to meet some different faculty, staff, and learn a little bit about some of the traditions that you're going to be experiencing throughout the weekend. Saturday, we have a number of different things going on in addition to other free events and homecoming events that'll be happening. At 9:30 in the morning, we have our very first ever Kitty Cat Parade. Kate and I are very excited about this. This is an opportunity for you to bring younger siblings to campus to get dressed up in their best UK gear, to play some games, to maybe get some different temporary tattoos or face paint, get all worked up, and then go on a parade through campus, just like you would at homecoming, right? There will be treats, there will be games, there will be some giveaways. It'll be a really fun time. So that event will be happening in the Limestone Lawn right next to the Gatton Student Center and in the Cat's Den. So we'll have two locations, different events going on in both of those locations, but they're right next to each other, which will be really fun. We're really excited about that one. Then about 3 hours to kick off, we have a couple of big events going on, and we say 3 hours to kick off because we don't know what time the game starts yet, and we probably won't know until 7 to 10 days out. So 3 hours prior to kickoff on Main Lawn, we have a family cornhole competition. So you'll come, you'll sign up, and we will we'll compete. It'll be a really fun time. There are trophies involved. It's very serious, but really very, very fun. So hope that you and your family will come out to play some cornhole. The UK Alumni Tailgate will also be happening 3 hours prior to kickoff over on Tobacco Lawn, which is at the corner of University and Cooper Drive. So if you're going to that event, that starts 3 hours before. And then 1 hour prior to kickoff, the Wildcat Watch Party will begin over in the Gatton Student Center ballroom. And that watch party will have everything that you can imagine a watch party to have. It'll have food and treats and games, giveaways, t-shirts, all kinds of really amazing stuff. And we're really excited to be able to host that event this year. And then on Sunday at 9:30 is our traditional Kentucky Donut Trail. This has become a really fun, sort of time-honored tradition as part of Family Weekend, where we bring in donuts from all over Lexington for families to sample and vote on. We have costumes and all kinds of fun games and activities, exhibits that'll be going on during that event. So looking forward to seeing all of you there. That event will be on Alumni Commons, and then our rain location is the Harris Ballroom, but we're just gonna hope for no rain, right? Always. Also at Family Weekend Check-In, that is where you are going to purchase your, it's where you're going to pick up your pre-purchased merchandise. So if you have purchased a t-shirt or sweatshirt or a tumbler, you'll be able to pick that up during Family Weekend Check-In. We will have a limited number of items that you can purchase on site, or you can swap sizes on site, but those are going to be very limited. We cannot guarantee your size after October 1st. That's when we have to place the order for our items. So just know that sizes can't be guaranteed after that October 1st deadline. Merchandise will not be held after Family Weekend check-in. So after Family Weekend, so you want to make sure that you or your student is coming to check in to pick up your merchandise. We can't mail it or hold it for anyone. So make sure that you are making a plan to pick up that merchandise during Family Weekend. Now, we know that some of you also have purchased some homecoming spirit kits, which is really fun. It's a new item that we have offered this year. We will be delivering those spirit kits the week before homecoming, so they can have them during homecoming to wear all of the fun things around. The deadline to order those is coming up real quick. It's on September 26th, so if you have not purchased your homecoming spirit kit, you still have a few days to do so, and we're really excited to offer that option this year. All right, now we promised to talk a little bit about what to wear and what to bring. Of course, your blue and white is highly encouraged. We'll take a little Texas orange, but we're not going to be thrilled about it, I'll be honest. So we want to make sure that you're wearing your blue and white. Also want to make sure you're dressing for whatever the weather might entail. Sometimes in Kentucky it can be beautiful and breezy and perfect weather, and sometimes it can storm, right? And we can't really control that. So make sure that you are preparing for the weather, because all of our events are going to happen rain or shine. Wear comfortable shoes. There may be lots of walking or standing around, so you want to make sure that you have comfortable footwear on. Just a little tip, it doesn't hurt to bring a portable phone charger, right? Because you never know who's going to run out of batteries at that time, at the most awkward time. So make sure you have some sort of portable phone charger. And then the big one is make sure you have a clear tote bag if you are planning to go into the football game. The Kroger Field will not allow anything other than a clear bag, right? And they have a policy on that, which I've put the details of here on the screen. So you want to make sure that you are bringing the appropriate items into that football game. Now, as I said earlier, you will get a tote bag at Family Weekend check-in, so we'll give you one clear tote bag per family. There will be other tote bags there if you want to purchase additional tote bags as well, but know that we will provide you one. Okay, now into the nitty-gritty of parking. This is the question that we get a lot here, and so I want to make sure that we walk through some general parking for your whole weekend, because every day is a little bit different. So we know that during Family Weekend, or during a normal weekend, normal football weekend, we have more than 40,000 people who come to Lexington. During Family Weekend, which is homecoming and Keeneland, we are anticipating more. So we're going to have large numbers of people in the Lexington area. However, parking will be available all over campus. But I would suggest, and just a tip, that you're going to need to expect to walk a little bit from where you park. And so making a plan ahead of time of where you're going to park and how much time you're going to allot is going to be really important. And I would always add some extra time in to get where you need to go. Most employee lots and student commuter lots are accessible on the weekends, and they're not going to require a parking pass beginning at 3:30 on Friday. And so there is a parking map on UK Transportation's website that'll show you exactly where employee lots are, as well as the student commuter lots. The Cornerstone Garage, which we talked about being right there at the Cornerstone on South Limestone, will also be available Friday after 3:30 p.m. through Sunday, and there will not be a permit required. So you'll have access to that garage all weekend, and no permit will be required. I would just be cautious that you are not parking in residential lots, and it will be marked on the lot. It will say R lot. You do not want to park at a residential lot during family weekend, but all employee or E lots are going to be open for you. And then, of course, there are spaces for visitors with disabilities all over campus, and you just need an ADA accessible permit. It doesn't have to be through UK, it can be any ADA accessible permit to use for general parking. Now, game day parking is a little bit different, so I want to walk through some specifics for game day parking. There are a few places that I would recommend parking if you are planning to be on campus or if you're planning to go to the game on Saturday. There is the University Drive Garage is available for those of you who may have purchased a parking permit through UK Athletics. But the free lots are going to be the Press Avenue Garage, which is on Press and Virginia, as well as the Hilltop Garage, which used to be called the Rose Street Garage, which is over on Hilltop right near the library. Those are going to be your free lots, as well as, of course, the Cornerstone lot. Now there will be lots of opportunities for shuttles, so I want to talk a little bit about those. The family weekend is actually going to be providing free shuttles for families, and there will be 3 different pickup and drop-off locations. The first will be at the Scott Street parking lot, which is right near the Taylor Education Building. The second is over by Wildcat Alumni Plaza, which is right across from Memorial Coliseum. And the third will be at the corner of University and Cooper. That's as close as we can get you to the football stadium. But that's where you can pick up and drop off right there at the football stadium. We are providing buses by Gold Shield. So they are black buses. So if you see a black Gold Shield bus, that will be a family weekend shuttle, and that will be free. Now, there are also shuttles that go from the let's see if I can go to the Press Avenue Garage, and those are $1 per person each way. So if you are parking there, that there's a shuttle through LexTran that you can use for that as well. The family weekend shuttles are going to run 4 hours prior to kickoff, and they'll run through the first quarter. Then they're going to take a little break, and they'll start up again in the fourth quarter and run till about an hour after the game. So know that we'll pick you up, we'll drop you off, but right in the middle of the game, they'll probably take a little break. Speaking of the game, if you are planning to go to the football game, wanted to give you some tips, some traditions, some things that you're not going to want to miss. So the first up here again is the clear bag policy reminder. I can't stress enough that if you don't bring a clear bag, they're not going to let you bring things in. So make sure that you have that clear tote bag with you. The catwalk, which is a really fun UK tradition where crowds gather to welcome the football team into Kroger Field, happens about 2 hours prior to kickoff in front of Gate 1. So you're going to want to, if you have time, come and check out the catwalk. It's a really fun sort of experience, just hyping up everybody prior to the game. The gates open about 90 minutes before kickoff, and you know, there's a lot of information on the UK Athletics website about game day. So if you're looking for information about tailgating or what you can bring into the game, you're going to want to check out the game day information site, which there's a QR code up on the screen that you can use to access that site quickly. That will give you all the ins and outs of the game, including parking accommodations for ADA parking. And one of the biggest tips I can give for the football game is download your tickets ahead of time. Don't wait to download them when you get to the game. There's a lot of people there, and the internet can sometimes be a little slow, and so you want to make sure that you have your tickets downloaded or printed or whatever it is that you need to do. I guess they're all downloadable now onto phones, but have them ahead of time so that you aren't struggling at the gate to get your tickets up and ready. As I said, we talked a little bit about the mobile app, and so I want to give you a quick run through of the mobile app that you can download once you have registered for Family Weekend. As I said, all of the important schedules and information is going to be there. A couple of tips: you're going to want to turn your notifications on for that app because we're going to send out any information that's going to be really important to you. You know, any changes in any events, changes in parking, weather complications are all going to come out through those notifications. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your notifications turned on in the mobile app. In the app, you're going to be able to create your own schedule. You're going to be able to look through all the different events that are on there and really just design a schedule that is that really works for you and your family. So I would suggest going through it together and making that schedule ahead of time so that you're prepared when you get here. As you're planning your trip, there is a section on the app called Plan Your Trip. And that's where you're going to find information about discounts for restaurants and attractions, various tips and hotel accommodations, various things around just trip planning is going to be there in the app for you. There's also a section that, of things to do in Lexington. So if you're like, you know what, I'm not really into football and I just kind of want to get out and see Lexington, maybe you want to visit a horse farm through Horse Country. They're giving 10% off for Family Weekend, which I think is great. You can find that information in the Things to Do app, in Things to Do portion of the app. In the Find Your Way, that's where you're going to find all the maps and directions on where to go, as well as a 25% off Uber voucher that you can use during Family Weekend if you just want to Uber from your hotel or to dinner one night. You can use it there. The last thing, one of the last things I want to talk about is how to stay connected. So how do you, if you have a question in the middle of Family Weekend, who do you talk to? What do you do? And I would say the best thing that you could do is email us. Email us at parents@uky.edu. Calling our office may not get us as quickly because we're going to be running all over campus, doing all the things for the events, but email comes straight to our phones. And so we'll be able to respond much quicker if you are able to email us. Again, check the app for the most up-to-date maps and alerts of things that are going on. If you are on campus, the best Wi-Fi for you to be using during Family Weekend is going to be the UK Guest Wi-Fi. And so you'll want to log on to that once you get here, and then you can use it throughout the weekend. And then again, I want to remind you to download your tickets, your football tickets prior to the game. Some other helpful tips. Some of these are actually from students who said that these are some things that they really that were really helpful for them. The first is to make a plan with your student before arriving to campus. So sometimes students are really happy that their families are coming, but they forget that they haven't studied for that exam, or maybe they just really want to sleep in on Sunday and not come to an event, right? So make sure that you are communicating with them ahead of time what your expectations, what their expectations are, and what they're going to be available to participate in with you during the weekend. That can be really helpful. Again, send your students early to check you in so that you don't have to worry about that when you arrive. Now, if they can't, that's totally fine. We will have you covered, but know that that is very helpful. Just remember that everything's going to take a little longer in crowds, right? When you have lots of people, I would suggest making sure that you add some extra time onto your, in your planning to make sure you have time to get where you need to go here on campus. And then the big one is just to enjoy exploring Lexington. Students are on campus a lot, and so they may not have had a lot of experience in the downtown Lexington or in some of the other areas. So make sure you're making your reservations to take them out to eat, and have fun exploring all the fun things that Lexington has to offer. All right, that was a lot of information, and I see that we have quite a few questions. So I want to take a pause and see if we can answer some of those. Nancy?
All right, so some of these you've touched on a little bit, but we'll make sure that everyone understands the information. So we'll hit some of these rather quickly. So the next one up, Lisa's saying, if we are coming up on Saturday only, where will we check in? My assumption is that with that, you would recommend sending her student in advance, or as you mentioned, it wasn't on the slide, but that there's one Saturday check-in opportunity.
Yes, yes. I would say if you're coming up on Saturday, have your student check you in early. That's going to be the easiest way. We will have check-in available on Saturday morning in Frazee Hall, which is right next to the Student Center. And that information is on the website and on the mobile app.
All right. Laura Beth is asking, can you get tickets to the Donut Trail without the alumni tailgate with it?
So right now we only have packages. We have two packages. The first is the Alumni Tailgate and Kentucky Donut Trail package. The second is the Wildcat Watch Party and Donut Trail package. Right now we are not selling tickets specifically just for the Donut Trail.
All right. Amy asked if students have class on Friday.
They do. Students do have class on Friday. There are some professors who may decide not to have class or to cancel class that day, but I would expect that your students are going to have class. You are welcome to talk to them and see if that's something that their faculty member has told them ahead of time. But I would expect that classes are happening as normal on a Friday.
Yep, with a campus at this size, knowing some folks are coming in for family weekend, but many other folks will be coming at other points in the semester. I think it's just too difficult to cancel classes for everyone. All right, so here's another question. Are there any special events for parents and families of marching band on Saturday? I don't know if you've had any communication with the College of Fine Arts about that, or if you would recommend that their student ask specifically to the marching band.
Yeah. We have not heard of anything specifically for marching band, since marching band will be active on Saturday at the game. So I doubt that there is an actual event. I would definitely check with your student to see if they've done anything specific, but we have not heard that there's any specific event for them.
Yeah, I think many marching band families end up at the catwalk because that's a chance to see their students, and pep bands are performing here and there all over the Kroger Field parking lot. So check with your student and encourage them to check with the marching band as well. Yeah. All right. So we've got a couple of questions about football tickets. One asking how they can purchase if tickets to the football game. They're only planning on being in town on Saturday. And then there was a question about whether their student can buy them guest tickets. So I don't know what the latest information you have from the athletics ticket office. I know they can answer specific questions. Maybe Kate can put their contact information in the chat as well.
Yeah. So right now, football tickets are available through Ticketmaster resale. So they are all resale tickets. And they are still available. So, I don't know how much they are, I'll be real honest, but there are, we looked last week and there were some still available. We have not heard if guest tickets are going to be available for students. And I think, the ticket office will let students know a couple of weeks ahead of time if that is a possibility for them. However, I suspect that with the popularity of the game, that if guest tickets are available, there won't be very many. So I wouldn't necessarily rely on that as an option. But UK Athletics will email students as soon as they know more.
Yep, my understanding is that those guest tickets in the student section are only available if students have not used their allotment. And to your point, Nikki, I think this is going to be a popular game. And so there may not be guest tickets available. All right, Teresa's asking where she could purchase the Homecoming Spirit package. So maybe that's another link that Kate can drop in the chat too.
I love that. So you can purchase the Homecoming Spirit package through the Family Weekend merchandise site that I'm sure Kate can put up there for you, and it's through Cat Chat Family Community. If you just log into your Cat Chat Family Community account, it's right there on the home page, and you can click on it and purchase t-shirts, sweatshirts, Homecoming Spirit kits, as well as tumblers. So lots of options for families there. And those spirit kits, if students live on campus, we will deliver them to the residence halls. If they live off campus, we will mail them to off-campus locations as well.
All right, we've got a handful of questions about Keeneland, so I'm going to try to put them all together and let you talk a little bit about Keeneland. One person saying there's no information in their registration email confirmation, so they're asking where to find that link. Another person is saying, has questions about the ticket limitations for that form that is linked in the confirmation email. And then yet a third question is about parking at Keeneland. So if you want to tackle all three of those together.
Let's talk all the fun Keeneland things. I love it. So the Keeneland tickets, if you purchased early, then your confirmation email may not have actually had the Keeneland link in it. And so if you want to just email parents at uky.edu, we can email you that link so that you can get your Keeneland tickets. When Keeneland set up their ticketing system, originally they only allowed for one person to register for tickets. And so you had to go in and register yourself and then register your each person in your family separately, and that was kind of cumbersome. And so now they have switched it so that you can register a number of different families or a number of different people in your family to register for Keeneland tickets. I haven't looked this week to see if they have cut off the tickets sales, but we can look into it and let you know if they're running low on those tickets. If so, we'll make sure to put that in your next newsletter so that you know that that's coming. As for parking, there is parking at Keeneland. And there are shuttles. So Keeneland's bigger than you think it is. So I would suggest coming a little early, and you'll be able, and they'll have lots of people there to show you where to park. It's a pretty well-oiled machine, and there are going to be shuttles that'll take you down from the parking lots if you are a little further away from the actual racetrack. But there is parking there at Keeneland.
All right, and then Christine's got one last question about Keeneland. She's asking what's going to be taking place there. Will there be races, or is it more of a site visit? So for our outside of Lexington, out-of-state families, what can they expect with the day at Keeneland?
Great question. So it is a race day. So typically the gates open at 11 o'clock in the morning, and the first post, which is the first race of the day, happens around 1 o'clock. So from 11 to 1, it really is a lot of networking, checking out the horses in the paddock. They'll come out and they'll show you the race horses, and as they're getting ready to race, and then racing begins at 1 o'clock. So it's a really fun day. You get a really good experience. The free tickets are general admission, which means that you don't necessarily have a seat. It is sort of standing room only. But if you go to the Keeneland website, it'll talk to you a little bit about what you can bring into Keeneland, whether or not you can bring in a chair, or what other items that you're able to bring. So I would definitely suggest checking out that Keeneland website. And Kate, thank you for putting that right there. That's helpful for everybody to see.
All right, we've got a few.
While we're talking about parking, I'm realizing that we did not talk about a really important part of Family Weekend this year, and that is that we did offer some reserved parking for the football game, and so I'm so sorry that I didn't really touch on that. So if you purchased a reserved parking spot, either in the Scott Street parking lot or in the Gatton Student Center parking lot, we're going to send you a parking pass at least about a week or so ahead of Family Weekend that you can download, print, and put on your dashboard, sort of similarly to when you moved in your student, right? So this parking pass will sit on your dashboard, and you will be able to access those places with that parking permit. There will be attendants at each of those parking lots to make sure that you have that parking pass and show you where to park there. Those lots will open as early as 8 a.m. You are not allowed to tailgate at those spots, so I want to be real clear that these are just normal campus parking spots. But you'll able to access them at 8 a.m. and you'll have access to them throughout Saturday. On Sunday, they will go back to general parking for family weekend.
I'm glad you anticipated that because Deanna had just asked a question about that. And to clarify, you have sold out of all of those reserved parking.
We have sold out of all the reserved parking, yes.
Great. So got a couple other questions also around kind of parking and getting around. Gina says, if we have an R lot parking pass, can we park there? I assume we means Gina's student. So to that, yes.
Absolutely. If your student has an R lot parking pass, well, good on them, first of all. That's a commodity. So yes, you can park in as long as there's an R lot pass, then you're fine.
Yeah. The point is that the R lots are always enforced for having that particular permit type, whereas employee and commuters change a little bit on potentially nights, weekends, things like that.
Correct.
All right. So Kimberly's asking, is it difficult to utilize Uber or Lyft for the weekend? Is there a main drop off or pickup spot? So I'm assuming the main drop off pickup might be related to Kroger Field, but maybe you can speak to Uber and Lyft throughout the weekend too.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that it will be popular during the weekend, and prices probably will be a little higher. I'll be real honest about for those for both of those, which is why we give you the 25% off, because we want you to be able to use it. Again, I would just anticipate it taking a little more time if you're going to use it, and it might take a little more time to find one. You can now in Uber and Lyft pre-schedule. So if you can do that in your app, that's even better. There is a drop-off location for the football field, and it is not right at the football field. So I'm trying to remember, Nancy, is it over by Woodland Glen now, or is it closer? I feel bad that I don't know the answer to that, but I know that it's in the on the athletics game day information website. It'll tell you exactly where they will drop off and pick up from that specific location if you're using it for the football game. Otherwise,
yeah, I can't.
Generally, you can just have them pick you up and drop you off anywhere else.
Yeah, I can't overemphasize how helpful that athletics football game day website is, particularly if you've never been to a game at Kroger Field. It's got all of the information about parking, traffic, all of the things. So Kate put it in the chat. The other thing I was going to mention is that, to my knowledge, the clear bag policy is in effect at all UK athletic events. So if folks go to volleyball, if they go to the soccer games that are that weekend, clear bag policy is all UK athletics, not just Kroger Field. That just tends to be the one that gets the most attention. All right, got a couple questions about the app. One person's asking if it's already active, and somebody else is saying that they don't see it. So am I correct? There is a passphrase that is available to Family Weekend registrants that's in their confirmation email?
Yes. So in your confirmation email, there is a very specific passphrase. So the UK Guides app is the same one that you would have used for orientations or merit days. You would just go back into that UK Guides app and put in the passphrase, and it will allow you to download the Family Weekend app. So it is active, and it has been downloaded quite a bit. So you'll use that passphrase to access it. The big difference this year is that mobile app is only available to families who have registered for Family Weekend. So if you have not registered for Family Weekend, if you were just like, well, I'm just going to come see my student and hang out, and that's totally fine. And we encourage you to do whatever is best for you and your family. But once you have registered, you will then receive that passphrase so that you can access it.
All right, with our remaining few minutes, if you all have final questions, make sure you're putting those in the Q&A. Got one in there right now, getting at how the dates are selected and thinking ahead to next year. So when will you anticipate announcing a Family Weekend 2026 date? What factors do you consider in, I know you are one of many, many people on campus making that decision.
Absolutely. So we select the family weekend date based on a number of factors. The first being the football schedule. So when the football schedule comes out, we can then start talking about when family weekend is going to be. Um, Based on the football schedule and who we are playing, and whether it's an SEC game, whether it's not an SEC game, will determine how many tickets that we can actually get to sell to families for family weekend. And so that really does play a significant role in when we select for family weekend. We are also looking at the academic schedule. So we want to make sure that we aren't scheduling family weekend in the middle of a really hard time of year, although it does feel like it's hard for someone all the time, right? But we want to make sure that we wait a few weeks, that we're not, it's not 2 weeks in and then you're coming back to campus, right? We typically try as much as we can to host family weekend about 4 to 6 weeks into the semester, and again, based on that football schedule. We also look at the holiday calendar, as well as what else is happening on campus, what other events are happening, what other collaborations. So a lot of factors go into family weekend and that selection process. I will say some years we have had a really early family weekend. Some years we've had late family weekends. It's been a while since we've had family weekend with homecoming, but it has happened before and has been very successful. So we anticipate it being successful again. But we won't know really the family weekend date until either late fall, early spring, and we'll let you know as soon as we know.
All right, we don't have any open questions right now, but we'll give folks one more minute or two. So in the meantime, I'm curious, if you had to pick one favorite family weekend event, I know it's like picking a favorite child. What favorite family weekend event, what are you most looking forward to this year?
Gosh, there's so many. There's so many things going on, not just as part of our schedule, but also as part of homecoming's schedule. I think the Kentucky Donut Trail is one of the most unique and fun experiences of family weekend. I would say this year, one of the benefits of partnering with Homecoming is that you'll get to do things like, if you want to go to the step show, the NPHC step show is such a unique and fun experience, and something that I would highly recommend. It'll be really fun this year to watch the homecoming crowning at the football game, right? And being able to see that experience will be really, really fun. And I think Kate and I both can't wait to see all the kids at the Kitty Cat Parade. I think we've never done that before, but we're really excited about seeing some future Wildcats on campus parading and showing their spirit. So those are probably the ones I'm looking forward to the most. But every event at Family Weekend is fun and worth your time. So really looking forward to all of that. And of course, Family Weekend is what you make it, right? And if your family is doing something totally different, that's great. We welcome that. We want you to customize the experience to what you and your family want to do and what you're interested in, and how you want to connect with the University of Kentucky and the Lexington community. So know that we support that as well.
Got a follow-up question about the Kitty Cat Parade, asking if there's a separate charge for that.
There's not. It is free. So come on down.
One of the other things that I was going to mention, or see if you could touch on a little bit more, what additional communication can Family Weekend registrants count on getting between now and their arrival in mid-October?
That's a great question. So prior to your trip here to campus, we're going to send you an email that will give you basically the whole rundown of Family Weekend. Everything we just talked about, as well as anything new. And we typically wait until we know the football kickoff time, to send that email so that you have that information. Of course, we also have social media that's coming up, so we're trying to highlight some of the events that are happening. But in the meantime, if you have additional questions, um, feel free to email us at that parents@uky.edu email address. We're happy to answer questions, um, and make sure that you have everything you need as you're making your preparations.
All right, I think we've answered all of our open questions. Thank you.
Oh,
Gave
thanks
a
for making it
lot
easy
of
for
good
me,
info.
folks. That was great. We are really, really excited about Family Weekend this year, and really looking forward to seeing everyone. We know that there's a lot going on, and we know that for some of you, that's going to be really great, and for others, it might be a little intimidating. But please know that we've got your back. We are going to do everything we can to make this a seamless process for you, and we want you to enjoy all the fun traditions that we have here at UK and as part of the SEC. So again, if you have questions, reach out anytime.
It's always so fun to see the students and their families on campus and to see what they're wearing and how they're choosing to spend their time. It's a really special weekend, and I know folks really appreciate the hard work that you and Kate are putting into this with your campus partners and all the others. So it'll be fun. It'll be here in just a few weeks, and now you all are putting the finishing touches on it. So with that, thanks so much for being here today. We'll wrap things up and tell you that we can't wait to see you at Family Weekend. Email parents@uky.edu with any remaining questions, and Nikki and Kate will be sure to take care of you. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.